Hi, I'm Kristen Davis, and I want to know, are you a Charlotte? We are back to Are You a Charlotte with an incredible guest, the one and only Jenny Bex. Yay!
Thank you for having me.
It's my pleasure. We're going to rewatch your very first episode that you wrote for Sex and the City. It is episode 108, Three's a Crowd, an incredible episode written by you, directed by the also incredible Nicole Holofcener. So I love this episode. I really didn't have a lot of memories of this episode. I was like, what on earth is happening? It's a bold first episode, Jenny.
It's bold.
It is.
It was bold. And yet it was, it was of the time.
It was God, so of the time.
Yeah.
And I mean, we did touch on this briefly amongst ourselves, but to me, it's the first time that the theme is really run through all the characters in such a great, great way.
Yeah, it's such a magical thing when you find a kind of a sexual thing that also ties into exactly what your characters might be going through at the moment. And we had, Carrie and Big were at this point in their relationship where they were getting more serious, and suddenly she learns about the ex-wife, the other third person.
Right.
And so we're dealing with that at the same time that Charlotte is dealing with the fact that the man that she's betting, or he's betting her, we would never have used words like that, by the way, betting, wants to have a threesome. That's his fantasy.
Right.
And she's thinking about it.
I know it. That crazy Charlotte. Oh, my God. And also, just a side note, we have Lisa Emery.
Right.
Incredible. Who you all might know from Ozark, where she played a very terrifying character.
Yes.
And in our episode here, she's a sweet wife who gets cheated on.
I know. She gets cuckolded.
And you feel so bad for her. But then she's very open, and she's like, maybe if this would keep my husband happy, we can have a threesome. And Samantha is not having it.
She's not having it.
No.
She's the guest star.
She's the guest star. So this is a big part of the theme that I want to talk about. We can go scene by scene, but also just thematically, when I was watching it, because I didn't remember a lot of it, right? Like I told you already, but when Charlotte does seem like she might be going to have a threesome with these people in a very romantic and beautifully lit scene, I had a panic when I was watching this in my bed last night, thinking, why don't I remember kissing these two people at the same time? Oh, my God.
What am I about to see?
What are you going to do? And it was, in fact, a dream.
It was.
It was a dream. I was like, how could I have blocked that out or whatever? Because I've never had a threesome in life.
And also, you had your top off.
I did.
How about that?
And I can 100% tell that I'm in a panic because I step very gingerly forward.
Oh.
Which I know I'm just trying to be right on my mark so that no body parts are showing. Yep. And then I very gingerly reach my hands out like in a really odd way. And they take my hand. I can so feel the nerves radiating from me.
Such guts.
Well, the one thing too, and I'm curious what your thoughts are. What I remember, especially from the very beginning, was that we all as a group, and I can't speak for everyone, but we didn't know what was right or wrong for us to show because we didn't really know what show we were on, right? And do you remember that show Dream On that was on HBO where literally every episode some random woman just shows her breasts?
Right.
We didn't want to be that.
Right.
We wanted to be for women to watch from the female gaze, not like titillating, but also we are talking about sex and we didn't want to be fake. I mean, it was a very awkward.
It was a fine line.
Yeah.
And I think what's great is because we didn't show a ton of nudity, honestly, it was true to what the show was. Right. Which was we're not real sex on HBO.
No.
We're a show where we're talking about it, but showing a boob just for fun is not the reason people aren't watching it to hope to catch a sight of, full frontal nudity.
Right. So
or if they were disappointed.
Exactly. And so if it was appropriate for the scene, then a little bit like there was a scene in the last one, I want to say, where you see a little bit of my side boob and I'm like, oh my God, I didn't even remember this.
Right.
Oh my God.
Right.
I mean, of course, now you're like, it's like nothing. People
but the
show up.
mikvah, which was an episode I wrote, you did it.
I know. And
you owned it.
Thank you. It was challenging, but I'll tell you what I liked about that. And I also there are some times, and I said something earlier in one of the clickbaity situation with the press these days is so stressful because you say things here because it's so intimate, right? Like,
sure,
it's just me
of
and Jenny
course.
talking.
Why would they
And
take
then
it out of
people are like,
context?
"Rah, rah." I did say something because there were some awkward times early on,
Yeah.
with directors, not
Sure.
with you guys, but like sometimes in the middle of the night when everyone would have gone home who wasn't in the scene, some director would want you to do something and like even the other actresses weren't there. You could even go to them and be like, help me, and I would go lock myself in my dressing room and call my manager back in LA and be like, help me, what do I do? The mikvah, I remember, because we had talked about it for some time, and it was obviously a very, very integral part of the storyline. That was a very big important storyline, and because it wasn't sexual, it's much easier to have some nudity in a non-sexual way than and it like a spiritual way.
Yeah.
But the thing that I remember about that is that the director and the DP and Video Village had been set up because the AD let it happen. I'm not going to name right now, where I had to walk and they were smoking cigars.
What?
Mm-hmm. And it
This
was
I
the
don't
wee hours
remember.
because it was the wee hours because it took forever to go down to that tile set that we'd built, right? And I went to this AD and I was like, I'm trying to do something here, without feeling self-conscious. Could you possibly move all those guys?
Oh my God, I'm so sorry.
I know, it's crazy back then what went on, right? And this is a show where we had so much power.
But we didn't have, there were no intimacy coordinators.
Exactly.
Those did not exist in our business.
No, and even in a situation where you theoretically did have so much power, that all that stuff was still able to happen. And then you had to be the bad guy and go and say, like, they can't smoke their cigars literally in my eye line.
Also, the idea that anyone's smoking a cigar to begin with, I'm pretty sure that's illegal
Exactly.
now.
No, back in the day, they used, remember on the Silver Cup soundstage, we'd be there all night, Friday night, and like it would just be like a cloud of smoke. Sarah was smoking because Carrie was supposed to smoke. McGann was smoking. You remember Mark McGann was smoking.
RAD.
I mean, so many people, right?
Just
and you were just
smoking.
like, trying to see. I can't see my mark. You know what I mean? I know, the olden days. Anyway. Back to our episode.
Yes.
But a lot of crazy stuff went on.
Well, but also I will say it was a beautifully shot. That moment was beautifully shot.
Because it's in Charlotte's mind.
Right.
So it's perfection.
No, but you
it's
had
romantic perfection.
You looked beautiful in that.
Thank you so much. No, I'm so happy that I did it because, of course, at the time, you're like so stressed and stressed. And now you're like, oh my God, I should have just been running through the town with my shirt off.
And that's what we call clickbait.
I know, that's true.
Ladies and gentlemen.
I do sometimes think that. But I remember having a lot of stress about it.
No, but I do think the other thing, and Michael talks about this a lot too, is that we always wanted the sex to be almost like, we never wanted to be like ooh, we're shooting like a soft porn, like Red Shoe Diary kind of situation.
This was important. The tone was important.
But I will say the music choices in my episode, there was like this jazzy kind of sexy music when you're in bed with your boyfriend. I'm like, we would never have done that after season 1.
For sure.
We would have counterpointed it more.
Well, I think that's what was confusing about being an actress in season 1 too, was because we didn't really know, right? We weren't really sure what the tone was.
Right.
And so we weren't really sure in the acting of it also. And then sometimes we weren't around when the others were doing their sex scenes, right? So, or their romantic scenes or whatever it was. So we didn't know what they were doing. Do you know what I'm saying? So there was like this kind of like checking in, like, what are you guys, what do you think? What are you doing? Because like Cynthia, she's like, I don't care, you know, but she still she hasn't shown much or whatever.
Right.
And then Kim, I think at one point already has, but it was like a kind of a funny, she like there's a humor kind of about it.
I think as long as there's either like the mikveh where you're in a situation that's non-sexual,
right,
or if it's happening, it's for a really good reason and you're counterpointing it with something so that it doesn't feel prurient.
Exactly. But that was the whole key to it. And we hadn't really fully gelled on that
Yeah, I don't think we knew.
Yeah. Because also not everyone was around all the time to discuss it kind of in a thorough way.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You were just like, what did that one do? What happened in that scene?
No.
You know, no one really knew, right?
Right.
But when I did watch the threesome that I thought I was about to have, didn't remember. And then I was like, oh, thank God, it was just a dream. But I could literally tell that I'm just like frozen as an actress, like, I'm just going to take this tiny step and then nothing will show. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, there won't be too much rear end and there won't be
Right.
side boob. And there
Right.
won't, I'm just like,
Just enough stepping in.
Yes, exactly. But anyway, we digress. But I mean, there's the fun things to think about.
Yes.
Because I think that the way that it developed and the fact that all of us were there and had the same goal is why it worked out and why we felt safe eventually. Like, it took a little,
Yes.
it's not that we felt unsafe in the beginning, we just weren't sure, right? Like, we were checking in.
We
and
just didn't know where the lines were.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And it depended on the director,
Right.
what they wanted to do.
Right.
You know, and sometimes that wasn't necessarily in line with what Darren and Michael
Correct.
wanted.
Correct.
You know, and then you had to call people. And,
Yeah.
like,
Calls
help.
had to be made.
Help.
Yes.
Yes. Okay, so I'm basically, oh yeah. I'm meeting the guy at the benefits, all the benefits
Sure.
for the diseases. His name is Jack.
Yes.
You know, he's one of many guys in the beginning.
Lot
and
of
Charlotte's
guys.
just trying to figure out if she can go with what he wants. And pretty quick, he seems like he brings up this threesome. I mean, I guess
Yes.
we have the montage. So
Yes.
it's like there's time has passed. And this is the first time when I'm watching that I feel like Charlotte's storyline makes sense.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Like, before, there's the artist who paints her,
Right.
which everyone's like, she agreed to this? And for me, I mean, I could only assume, I think at the time, I just really wanted someone to write a storyline for me, right?
Right.
And I was like, I'm going to have to roll with this. And then I also think because it's about her gallery, it's about art. So she's like, I'm going to do what I have to do because she thinks she's landed him as a client. And he's
Yes.
a big deal,
Yeah.
right? And it's safe up in the woods and his wife was there. You know what I'm saying?
Right. And she likes art.
She loves art because, like, when he asks her, "What are your fantasies?" I laughed at myself so hard. I just 100% authentically. Well, I'd like to own my gallery one day. It's like-
Yeah. It's like, I didn't mean that.
I know, it's so cute. But then I also said that I want a house in Maine,
Yes.
which you do have.
I do have.
Which
yes.
I love that
yes.
so much.
So there you go.
I love it. Did you want that at the time?
You
and
know,
not
I did.
have
You know
it?
what's interesting? So I had spent my summers growing up there.
Mm-hmm.
So my family had a house there, but I think I always imagined I would have my own house.
Amazing.
I didn't then, but now I do.
Amazing.
So there you go.
You made it happen.
Just like Charlotte, I
love
got
it.
certain things.
I love it.
Yeah.
Charlotte let that dream go somewhere. Maybe Harry didn't share
We
that
don't know.
dream.
We don't know if. Well, I guess we do know.
I think
that
we would
we
know.
would know,
if she
wouldn't
did.
we?
I think it would come
Well,
up.
she
I'm
found
gonna
other
guess that
dreams.
Harry didn't.
He probably
Do
didn't
you
want
know
to
what I
be in
mean?
Maine. There's a lot of ticks. You know,
He does not like the bugs.
He doesn't like the bugs.
He really, really doesn't. It's still
yeah.
going on. Okay, back to the show.
Yes.
Way back. Okay, so I get to have the thematic storyline, which
Yes.
is fun, and I like that there's like a beginning, middle, and an end, and then also that there's such a great discussion.
Yes, I
About
love that
threesomes.
discussion.
And so I need some clarity though, because sometimes people say things that I'm not quite sure if I'm hearing correctly. Like, basically Samantha is saying that you don't want to be the guest star in the threesome.
No, you do want to be the guest
You
star.
do want to be the guest star because you don't want connections.
You don't want connections. You
Got
don't
it.
want to do it with like a good friend. You want to be like, you want to come in and out, enjoy it, and get the hell out
Right.
of there.
It's so crazy that Charlotte's like, no, maybe I would want one of my friends.
Right, exactly.
Oh my God.
But that's so Charlotte. She's like, she would feel safe that way.
No, but it's like, it's a terrible idea. It was
a terrible
really so
idea.
horrifying for me to think
I
about.
know.
Like, what if she tried to convince Carrie to be in a threesome with her? This would be terrible, okay? Just terrible in so many ways. Like, oh my God. Anyway, I had a moment of fear then too, because I was like, I don't remember any of this. But then,
She's like, wait, oh, did I have a threesome
I'm
with
like, do I
Carrie?
try to talk her into it? Oh my God, I was mortified. Thank God I do not. But then poor Miranda.
I know.
No one
Poor
chooses
Miranda, no one chooses her.
Miranda.
I know.
It's so adorable. I don't
know.
remember this at all.
I know. And I love how Cynthia played it through the episode.
So brilliant.
Like, I'm going to get to the bottom of this, and I'm upset, and I'm sorry I wasn't chosen.
I
and
know.
that's upsetting.
I know. And she's got this therapist, which, like, do we ever see this person again?
I don't think we do.
Oh my God, he's an older man, and he basically is like, "Are you asking to have a threesome with me?" Like,
Right.
it's so weird and funny, and it's such a traditional looking therapy office where I'm just like, "Is this what a therapy office would look like in 1998 in Manhattan?"
Who knows? It was probably whatever set we had that we
Exactly.
could put up 2 flats
Some books.
and some books.
Totally. And then I really love that scene which she we're out of order, but I don't care.
Because we're following her storyline.
Exactly. We're following Miranda. So when she finds the couple,
yes,
and they're like, no one really answers our ad, who isn't, and they don't want to say it.
Yeah.
Those actors are so great.
They are so great.
They are so great.
And they're so excited to have Miranda.
They're so excited that it's Miranda, and Miranda looks just radiant in every way because she's been chosen.
And the way Cynthia walks off at the end with that kind of
good.
She flaunts it with her shoulders,
right?
like
she's
owning
so
it.
Powerful.
Yeah.
I mean, she was powerful from the get-go, which
she
I
had
know
to
is
remind
not how
herself.
she felt. Do you know what I mean? But like even when she's flummoxed, you know, like her inner strength is so apparent.
Oh, yeah.
And I love it so much.
Yeah.
Well, I don't remember that.
I always loved my Miranda.
Oh, beyond.
Which is why I was so upset when those quizzes would come out and everyone was like, I don't like Miranda. It's like, but that's me. Like I felt very
it's not
connected.
the same now.
Well, no.
Thank God.
Thank God.
Right.
Thank God. But that was a very hard,
No, it's
moment.
true. I mean, people also thought they would say that I was boring and that I was a prude, which is hysterical when you watch it back. You're like, hello.
Hello. You were not having half the sex that Charlotte was having.
No, I was definitely
No,
not.
I don't mean you. I mean one.
Nobody, but including myself.
Well, we were working all the time.
We were big time working. And I never was that, Charlotte was like out there.
Yeah, she was doing it.
Wow. Anyway, back to Miranda. Love that storyline. Really, really love it.
So fun to
But
write.
now help me understand at the dinner where we discussed it, when Charlotte's like, this guy wants to have a threesome, what should I do? And so Samantha's saying, it's great, but don't be involved. Be the guest star.
Right.
And then Carrie's saying, don't do it if you don't want to do it.
Right.
And
She's
then
being supportive and saying, it's a thing, but you don't feel compelled to do it.
Got it. And her storyline is more about the emotional baggage of Big being married before and her not knowing it.
Yes.
Now, can we discuss Big a little bit?
Please let's.
Because some of these things made me laugh because, Charlotte was always pro Big, as we know.
Yes.
And I never questioned it. I feel that I also was pro Big. I don't remember ever having a thought that wasn't pro Big. I look back at it now and I'm like, why were we pro Big?
Oh my God.
Is a mess.
Yes, and this, I feel like I am like the original Big defender.
Are you?
I do. Well, I'll tell you why. Because what we wanted to play was, and we've all had this person in our lives at some point, this relationship where the chemistry is there, you're drawn to this person, and they're just unknowable and ungettable enough to keep you going towards them.
Well, listen, you guys wrote that perfectly.
Yeah. And Big, I think, he wanted to get closer to her at certain times, and he did, right? And so I think what we did well was portray that kind of where you've got this banter, you've got this kind of chemical desire to be with each other. It's not necessarily the healthiest, but it wasn't as unhealthy as I think people. It was funny. I was talking to my niece who's 24, and she said, "Oh, Big is just a toxic bachelor." And I was like, wow.
I think that too when I look back.
I guess maybe he was. And maybe I have a soft spot for the toxic guy. I mean, certainly at the time I was dating that kind of guy.
I think we all were.
So
right?
I think we were all playing into.
It was normal for us,
yeah,
don't you think? Yeah.
And he was like dashing and ungettable. Like you could almost get him and then you couldn't.
Yeah.
But it's funny, when Julie and Elisa came on, they were like, we don't get Big. We don't get it. We don't understand it. We like Aiden. And I was like, this is great. This is why this works well. We can be in the writer's room having that discussion the same way the audience will feel. And Carrie will feel. And you all feel.
Yeah. Well, that's good. That's helpful. So that was your goal. And you guys really, really did it. Because the other thing that I love about it, though, is that, it's very much from the female perspective, right? Like we are with Carrie, right? So when Carrie's spinning, I'm also spinning. Like, what is going on with him? And sometimes his actions don't match his words. And she tries to get him to talk, and he doesn't talk. Why doesn't he talk? Do you know what I mean? And
you were such a good friend. Like, Charlotte was a really good friend.
She still is.
Yeah. I mean, she is. She's there for these women at times where other people might not be.
I mean, I think that's true for all four, really, when you think about it. I mean,
Yeah.
sometimes Miranda does actually say to Carrie, like, that dude is toxic. What are you doing?
Right.
Why are you going back? Or whatever. You know, she's
she's more blunt.
She's like, I'm going to tell her what
Yeah.
no one else is going to tell her.
Yeah.
And then Samantha is so non-judgmental. Do you know what I mean? In, the best, the
Right.
most powerful way.
Right.
Not like a lack of power, like
No.
accepting in power,
Yeah.
like, I'm not going to judge you
Yeah, you do
for
you.
doing this. Exactly. You do you. I'm going to do me. This is what I do. I'm going to do it. I'm not
Yeah.
going to apologize, which is amazing.
Yeah.
And then Charlotte, God love her, I don't know. Like now that I'm looking back on it too, like, I don't know what I was thinking at the time other than that, I want to make this work and I want to fit in, right? Like, which is also what I think Charlotte was thinking, right? But me as an actor, right? Like, I'm going to try to pull this
Interesting.
off because I didn't inside
Yeah.
feel like I could pull off what the three of them who seem so powerful to me.
Right.
I didn't feel that powerful.
And yet she was. And
You think?
is. Yeah.
Really?
I do.
I mean, later maybe, but not in that beginning.
I think like all of those characters, she went through an evolution. And I
For sure.
think she does find these moments later on
Yeah.
where she stands up and says, this
For
is
sure.
wrong.
No, you're right. You're right.
know?
You're right. For sure. For sure. It
Even with
takes a
Samantha,
while, though.
takes a while.
It takes a while. But I love the searching. And I do think that is really important. And there was like later on when she gets so didactic, right? And like, trace it, she can get lost in her fantasy,
Sure.
which I think is obviously so relatable.
Yeah.
But my question in terms of Carrie and Big, because we've got Carrie, she's obviously so brilliant, so amazing, got so much going on, right? But then, like, even with Valley of the 20-something guys, she's just like, I don't know, I need to be kissed. She goes that weird
Right.
hole in the wall
Right.
bar. You're just like, where are we filming? What is this?
It was for sure a hole in the wall bar. Is what
I
it
mean, it's
is.
insane.
Yeah.
Like, I don't even think those places exist
No,
anymore,
no.
right? And then she goes, I mean, who wouldn't want to kiss Timothy the Elephant? He's adorable, right? And then she goes, and then she wakes up, and there's no toilet paper, and we
Right.
know what happens. And then Big is still there. And the thing that I do see about Big, and definitely like the Justin Theroux character comes after that, and he's like kind of ick, but he's Justin Theroux, so you
Right.
kind of like it, but he's also kind of ick, right?
Yeah.
But she's like, he's got his arms around me, and you're very weird, and you went on a date with that woman. That's the episode before this. But then she ends up giving Big another chance every time, right? She tries to get him to communicate. He doesn't really communicate, but he also tries. Like, he shows up to the park in the middle of the night in the last episode.
Yeah.
And then this time he just very blithely says, yeah, I was married before. And you can see her just like, huh? Like, to her, this kind of stuff is super important.
Right,
Information
right.
is very important. And the last episode, too, is when they go to that party and that girl kisses him and is like, you've got my passport. And then the other guy introduces Carrie with my another name. Oh, you
Yes.
must be Julia or whatever. And she's like,
Yeah.
how, and we Big never says what he's actually doing.
I will say this, though.
Tell me.
It was the 90s. It was a longish time ago now.
Yeah.
And I think a lot has happened with how men communicate now.
You do?
I do. I think there's
Okay.
much more pressure, and I think men have risen. A lot of guys have risen to younger guys have
Yeah.
risen to the occasion and know that they need to be communicative with
Okay.
women. But I would say back then, I didn't know that many men, certainly that I was dating or that I knew, who would want to have a
This
real
is
conversation
so
about the
helpful.
relationship.
Got it.
Because that would have been like, what? Why do you want to talk so? Like, it
Wow.
was still a time where men saying less was sexy and not withholding.
Interesting.
Now, we all learned that was withholding, but
Right.
at the time, you weren't having those kind of
because
conversations.
I never had any of the thoughts that I'm having now then. And so
Right.
that helps explain that.
Yeah.
Like, I was just like, of course she would want to be with him. Because he has so much going on and he's
Right.
intelligent and successful, and she is intelligent and successful, and she could do the crossword puzzle, that he's doing. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, there were certain things that I could definitely understand, right?
Right.
And obviously the chemistry,
Right.
obviously. But I also feel like Sarah Jessica has chemistry with like every man that, you guys put in front of her.
But he made her feel something different.
For sure. It was different.
She
It was a
felt
different
girly
thing.
and she felt off kilter, which I think for some women like that,
That's a good point.
they like that because
good point.
it makes them feel like, oh, this is different.
Right. Right.
Oh, what is this?
Right.
I don't want to be in charge all the time. I want this guy to.
That's so good.
Now, that's not necessarily healthy,
Right. But that's a good
but
point.
she did
though.
end up marrying him. So,
much later, after many chapters, but yes.
So-
and they also, I feel too, if I look at the whole thing, and I mean, we'll see as we go, right? But as much, and this is what's so funny looking back at the first season, she tries so hard to get him to communicate.
Yeah.
I mean, so hard. And he doesn't not, but he also doesn't fully communicate. Like at the end of the episode before this, and she says, I just want to stand still with you.
Yeah.
And he doesn't really answer her, but he puts his arm around her and yes.
And that's what I think you have to look at is he's not a talker.
Right.
He's a doer.
Right.
And look, Aiden was there for her, talked to her, and it wasn't right.
Because he didn't really get her.
Right. And
you
I
remember
do
the
think,
engagement ring, right?
Like, well, yeah. I mean, that was a great episode
So
and
great.
And kind of a great thematically.
Yes.
Like,
Perfect.
oh my God, you didn't get me. You've never gotten me.
Right.
And I do think in some ways Big got her.
Yes.
He just wasn't communicating.
Right. He wasn't skilled in that
Yeah.
way. But he was a doer. This is good, Jenny. This is
Okay,
helping me.
I'm not saying anyone should be with a Mr. Big. I'm
I
just
get
telling
it.
you our
No,
thought
no.
process.
And I mean, I do think it's important to think about the timing, and that's why it's interesting to do this rewatch now, right?
Yeah.
Because so many things have changed and so many things haven't changed, right? So like even for myself, and obviously I was much, much younger then, right? So I never had any of these thoughts then. I would read the script. I would just be like, of course she wants big.
Right.
Do you know what I mean?
Right.
I never thought like he's withholding. Never entered my mind. You know what I mean?
I don't even think we used that word in the writer's room. I think we just knew that he was currently a little at arm's length with her, but she liked it.
Yeah.
And that's what we were playing.
That's important. That's important context. Thank you, Jenny.
You're
Bix.
so welcome.
I love it. Okay, now here we go. We've got montage of threesomes.
Yes. We also stopped doing montages soon after that.
I mean, it's so kind of funny how the different things that we did, you know, and I do remember that it like production wise, that was a challenge.
Yeah.
Because you had to get all these different people rounded up. You know what I mean?
And especially as time went on with the show and the show became more popular, when the people who, bless them, would come and do this, they were nervous. They were like, I'm on Sex and the City and I have one line and I have to get it right. Or I need to walk my dog from here to here.
Oh, no.
Yeah, you
So
feel for them.
So funny. Okay, we have this very kind of funny storyline of Samantha sleeping with a married guy, which
Yes.
I also feel now would not really happen like this in a show.
No.
Because it would not really be like, oh, haha, isn't that funny? Do you know what I mean?
Yes.
It would be like, that's gross.
Yeah.
And he's just talking about his wife just all the time right off the bat.
Yeah.
Like, my wife won't do this. I mean, it's bizarre.
But she doesn't care.
No,
to her,
she doesn't
it's,
care at all.
I mean, you know, it's all fair game.
I know. It's super interesting. I mean, was there any pause in the writer's room about Samantha?
In general about Samantha? No. I mean, not in any big way. I mean, sometimes we would talk about storylines that weren't her, even if they were wild. You know, she still had her morals and she still had her ego. But no, you know, we knew she was the id, right? Like she was the one just going out there and doing it and owning it. Which
and you guys were just like, we're doing it and we don't care what anyone says.
Yeah, I mean, there was pushback and blowback, not internally,
Right.
but you know, once the show started airing, and of course, everyone said, "Well, that's not a woman, that's a gay man," right?
Which is so rude.
Which is so rude, and so of the time as well, right?
Yeah.
Like a woman who owns her sexuality doesn't exist. Therefore, this is a man, and this is a gay man. Why is it a gay man? Why isn't it just a man? By the way,
Right.
Rude on a bunch of levels.
So many levels.
But no, we knew she was the one we could rely on to go and enjoy life and make mistakes along the way because of it, you know, fall on her face because of it. But she wanted to enjoy everything that life had to offer.
Which is amazing to think about.
It's amazing.
And amazing that there just aren't, I mean, even still now, it's not a character that you see a lot of.
Now I think that character would be judged more, like in a weird way.
Which
like
is
it would
insane.
be right. Like it would be like, oh, what a slut, right?
I don't know. I don't know.
I don't
what would the
know.
young people think?
They're not having as much sex as she did.
They're not?
This is what I hear.
I don't know.
I hear
We
tell.
need to find out. Can you guys come on the Instagram and tell me?
Yes, we will come on the Instagram. We will come on the machine and put it in there. Yes.
Because it is really interesting to think about. Like, on the one hand, I feel like at a certain point there was like, do what you're into, feel free.
Yeah.
But then I don't know if that really panned out.
I'd like to think it made some changes. And I think certainly women own their sexuality more now.
Yeah, me too.
But I'm not sure that people are literally having as much sex, male or female.
I mean, what happened with the apps? Weren't the apps supposed to help you if that's what you wanted to just have
Yes,
sex?
and I think they do.
Okay.
But I don't think people are as
Feeling
sexual.
so free.
Yeah.
Feeling so free with their
Feeling so free
sexuality.
or so, yeah. But
I know.
this is something that we should investigate.
I think we should investigate.
We should get a
I want
big
to
magnifying
investigate.
glass
Yes.
and walk around like Hercule Poirot.
Yes, like how much sex are you having?
We have a question. How much sex are you
We
having?
have questions.
Write into Kristen. Let her
I
know.
know. Should we ask Esther Perel?
I love Esther Perel.
Dude.
Let's ask her.
Right?
You should have her on the show.
We should have her on the show. We should ask
Done.
her. Oh my God. That would be amazing. Okay, cool. Let's keep going with our rewatch. Okay. The therapy. We already touched on this. That guy's adorable. And
Adorable.
also it's just very funny to me that Miranda out of all of us is the one in therapy.
Yeah.
It's hysterical.
She was, trying to figure it out.
I know. We all were in our own way.
Absolutely.
We all were, right?
And
I mean, Carrie's doing it through
ultimately,
the
you were
column.
each own's
Each other,
therapist
exactly.
for
and going
good or bad.
Exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. I mean, and in the beginning, Charlotte's she just asked questions like, should I do this? Should I not do this?
Carrie did go to therapy, though, when she met Bon Jovi.
What?
You probably don't remember this episode I wrote, Games People Play.
Games people play.
She met him in the waiting room of her therapist.
Why did she go to therapy?
She needed some therapy. She needed to talk some stuff through.
Well, for sure.
Yeah.
I don't remember this.
This was
oh
season
my God.
2.
And John Bon Jovi comes in season 2?
We have some wild guest stars along the
I
way.
remember John Bon Jovi, but I would have said season 6.
No, I know. No.
What on earth?
Yeah.
Oh my God. I can't wait till we get to Alanis Morissette.
Oh my God. How about Alanis Morissette? I had
know.
so much fun working with, how lucky was I?
I just
to
remember
work?
coming to watch that day.
Yeah.
Because Sarah was so nervous.
Oh my God.
And I was like, Alanis Morissette is here. But I don't think I talked to her. I was too scared. I was too scared. She was a very big deal
She's
for us.
big deal.
I mean, huge deal.
Yeah.
Let's talk about Big and the wife, the ex-wife.
Yeah.
Let's talk about this because it's super interesting to me. And I did not really remember this so much.
And it's something we introduce it and then we never bring her up again.
I know.
Which is kind of fascinating.
It's kind of nuts.
And that also rewatching, I remember that not only did he not say it an ex-wife, but the ex-wife doesn't tell Carrie that she knows
Right.
that Carrie's dating Big.
There's a lot of secrecy.
Which was really interesting because she seems so kind of open
But she says to her at the lunch that they have after Carrie's pitched her book that she doesn't actually have.
right.
She says, "Are you seeing anyone?" And I did think that actress, Noelle, I believe is her
Yes.
name, played it so well because I thought, does she know?
Right.
Does she know?
And she did.
But she played it off.
Yep.
Now, what do you think in terms of my producers were like, why is Big still friends with his ex-wife? And I was like, why wouldn't they be? Right?
They could be friends.
Right. Also because he cheated on her, but he kind of is who he is in that way
Right.
that we were talking about, right? Like,
Right.
I mean, it doesn't shock me, especially because they say it was a long time ago. So that means like in his 20s or
Right.
something, right?
Right.
And then she's so beautiful and accomplished. I mean, it makes so much sense in so many ways, especially because we know who
And
he's
the
also
plaque
going to
she
marry.
hasn't hung yet.
Yes.
Just Special Olympics.
Right,
Like, what
right.
can't she do?
And we know he's going to marry another very beautiful brunette.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? So it tracks.
Right.
Right.
It tracks.
But I loved the interplay between Carrie and the ex-wife in terms of they love each other. They hit it off.
Yeah.
And I love Carrie. I mean, she does kind of have like how to put it? It's like kind of manipulative. I don't know how to put it. But like it reminded me also and just like that after Big has died. Sorry if I'm giving anything away to any listeners.
Oh, you
right
just
now.
did it.
Sorry.
You just did
I'm
it.
pretty sure you know. But in case you don't, later on, Big dies. But
Oh, spoiler
terrible.
alert.
It's terrible. I'm really sorry. We'll have to put like a spoiler alert. But do you remember when Carrie wants to go find Natasha, Big's other ex-wife?
Yes.
And secretly goes down there and we're all with her to support her?
Yes.
It reminded me so much of that.
Yeah.
And it's so fascinating how specific the characters are. And I don't know if Michael Patrick was thinking back or not thinking back. Like, is it conscious decisions? Like, it's like when I sleep with that Hasidic Jewish artist.
Yes.
What a precursor.
It was a total precursor.
Right? But did we know that?
I don't think we thought of that as a precursor. Like, I'd love to say we were that smart that we were like, hey,
no, I don't
let's
think we
bring
were.
it back around.
I just think the DNA of
was
the
there.
characters were like specific and alive.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And still are in a really odd way.
Yeah.
Like, it's fascinating to me. Anyway, I loved this ex-wife because I love the dynamic between the two women, Carrie and the ex-wife. And then I love that when Carrie goes back to him and she doesn't really tell him and he's like, what's wrong? Which is actually pretty insightful of him, right? And then she says, and then he didn't know. She doesn't even say. He goes, I didn't tell you about my ex-wife because it was a long time ago. No. And then she tries to get more info and he's like kind of halfway giving it as he does. And then they get in bed and the ex-wife is there and Carrie says her voiceover about,
you're never alone in the bed because there's always someone that's been there before you.
Exactly.
Which is
good writing,
true.
Jenny.
Oh my God, isn't that brilliant writing?
Yes, it really is.
No, you know what? It was a theme that worked really well because it really was about how when you're in your 30s, it's not your first relationship. It's not your first time at the rodeo. People are coming with their baggage. And some of that baggage can be an ex-wife or God knows what else. And you have to, there's always going to be someone there before you. You're not the first in.
No. And I mean, thank God, really.
Thank God.
Thank God.
You
it's
don't.
A lot of work.
It's a lot of
work.
But then there's a lot of work to take all the bullshit
baggage
out.
Especially if they're not working on it.
Yeah.
I think that's the thing.
Yeah.
But she doesn't really say that because she's obviously Carrie's also not that worked out.
That's what I was going to say. I would argue too, maybe this is incendiary to say, I think Carrie is a little withholding herself. Like, I think with Big, like, I don't think she wants to show how much she's falling for him. I don't think she wants. I think she's trying to be. I'm cool. I'm hip. I'm writing this.
That's
column.
what I see her do in the first couple, right?
Yeah.
Like especially with the Justin Theroux character. She sees him on this date, which I think totally doesn't make sense. I'm with Carrie on that. Like, right, they've had this like incredible 8 days together. She hasn't even talked to us, her friends. And then she goes out with us on the first night. Right. She doesn't have him. And there he is with a woman. I would be way mad and very confused. But then he does his big thing and she's like, okay, I'm going to a party. You know what I'm saying? And then she calls him from the party on the landline, which is also hysterical. And Justin Theroux, she's like, he's wrapping his arms around me. I mean, she definitely plays the game.
Yeah, she had some learning to do as well.
Of course, which I get. I mean, I get it in terms of she's doing the best that she can do, and she's obviously drawn to him and doesn't really know what else to do. She does try. Yeah. She'll try and he'll like evade. So then she does that. I get it. What are you going to do?
You try your best.
Yeah.
With what
they are kind of well matched in that way.
In that way, I think they are.
I get what you're saying.
And they grew together.
That's for sure.
Speaking of landlines, how about the flip phone that Ken, the married guy, has in that scene on the street?
It's beyond.
I mean, that was a big deal to have a flip phone.
Oh my God.
I think I had a flip phone then.
I 100% had a flip phone. Yeah. And we were so proud of them.
Oh, look at these big, they were the size of bricks.
They were massive, but it was
we
cool.
had flip phones.
It was cool to own them. But Big has the corded phone in the car. It's a joy every time he takes that thing out. Oh my God, I can't believe it was so long ago.
We never thought the show would be watched now. If we did, a lot of things might be different. But
I mean, how could we have done it differently?
Known. We didn't have a time machine. No, we didn't know.
Right? That's the joy. That's the great thing about film. And also just it gives a record of like this is what we were living with, you guys.
There was no texting. There was no sexting. There was no there were no apps.
You had to go find a landline at the club.
Yeah. That's why people could miss Carrie's birthday altogether.
That's true. That's so true. Oh my God, yes. Okay, back to this thing. Sorry. What am I supposed to talk about that I haven't talked about? We didn't talk about the incredible Lisa Emery.
Lisa Emery, unbelievable. God. She is such an amazing actress.
Such
what
an amazing
she
actress.
did with that, I mean, and by the way, that's a very short, like she has very little to get across who she is and what she wants. And it's all there.
She does it so brilliantly. I know.
She's going to fight for her husband.
It's so true. She's going to have a threesome with Samantha if that's what she has to do.
If it has to be.
I remember a few years later, we were still doing the show and we ran into her Sin and I ran into her downtown, and she's talking to us, but she had her regular blonde hair. And I was like, who's that person? And Cynthia was like, she's on the show, you don't remember? And I'm like, no, I don't remember. That, she had the red hair.
She was so red hair. So Miranda red, by the way.
Miranda red.
Yeah.
Interesting. And then when Ozark came out, of course, I had just such a joy watching her and getting her to really have just such an amazing and terrifying role.
A terrifying
role.
And by the way, kind of a terrifying as the wife.
She was a little terrifying,
like you don't want
but also sad.
Sad.
She's so good. And I think she'd done a play with Sin by that time in between there. Anyway, she's been in our lives in a lovely way. One of those people where they're just such a great actor that you're glad that they get a part that they can actually like
have fun
do
with
all their stuff with. Yeah, totally. But it's so funny to see her back in the day with us. In a red
with
wig
two
and
flats
or hair
behind
color. I know, but she makes that whole thing live. But that husband, I'm just like, oh my God.
He was the least interesting of any of them.
I mean,
they all should have just said, forget you, let's go have coffee.
100%. Like you're like, why does anyone want to fight with this dude? So sorry if I'm offending anybody right now. Okay, then we get to the crazy masquerade ball. What on earth?
Wow.
I mean,
so much to unpack there.
I don't even know where to start.
Also, I like it's a masquerade ball, but like really, they're just little masks that you pick up and put on your face. This was our budget.
Really on a staircase.
And you're just on a staircase.
Yeah, there's a staircase and then like a weird coat room. That's very strange.
And again, then suddenly there's a little janky bedroom upstairs.
I know it.
Like that's an awful.
No, it's sad, but I'm gonna apparently have a threesome in that room.
You were gonna have a threesome, and then you don't, and you do. Rewatching it, what you did in that moment is, I would like to say one of the first moments where I knew you could really do comedy was the moment where you sit down between them, and they shove you slowly off the bed. Not only do you land on the floor, you make a decision to grab your mask. And walk out. It's not just, it's like, I have some dignity and I am taking my mask and leaving.
I'm glad that that's how you perceive that. I am so confused when I was rewatching that because A, don't remember it, right? B, what is actually happening? Like I don't understand exactly, like, is it the idea that people say they want threesomes, but they really just want to have sex with someone else?
Well, that's what we were playing in that scene.
Okay.
That is not, no judgment on those who have threesomes. I don't know what they're thinking. But in that case, it was this gal comes up and then is kind of like, I want to get screwed by this guy.
Got it.
And I don't even know if it's that much as she leans and start kissing him. It gets more, it gets stronger.
Right. And no one includes me.
And then suddenly you are, in this case, Miranda. You are shoved to the floor,
which is just so Charlotte-y relatable.
So funny the way the choices you made to make it. It was.
I'm like, are my shoes still on my feet? That's what I'm thinking when I'm watching.
Those are my shoes, so I can't
and they
lose
actually
them.
work because I was like, how am I going to get up? I'm thinking just as an actress because also I think I was worried about my skirt pulling up.
Right,
me?
right.
There
was a lot going on.
Weird thoughts when I rewatch myself, right? Like, is my skirt going to pull up? Are you going to see my Spanx? Like, what's happening? Were Spanx invented yet? I'm not sure.
Spanx.
I know. I don't even know.
No.
But I have pantyhose on. Pat had not eradicated the pantyhose yet, which is
pantyhose.
Very funny because that's coming. Like, there's certain things that I think about. It's the 90s, but like Pat, I remember when Pat was like, no one will wear hose. And we were like, what?
It's a very Pat
impression. I know. Thank you. It was close. It wasn't fully, but it was close. But I remember there was like strange elements, and this is probably something I shouldn't say. There were strange cult type elements about being in that cast, right?
Right.
Where like,
well, no scrunchies.
Some rules. No scrunchies. No banana clips.
I'll never forget. I still can't. When people wear banana clips,
I have one at home in my bathroom, and every time I reach for it.
Do you feel shame every time you reach for it, even though you're alone?
When I put it, I have to wash my hair. And I'm like, no banana clips. No one's going to see me. I'm in my bathroom. But also like the little things, and they come slowly. They weren't all in the beginning, right? But like no scrunchies, no banana clips, no hose, unless they were fishnets.
Yes.
We went through a whole fishnet phase.
Yeah.
And if you could find double fishnets, that was great.
That was great.
And if you could find nude double fishnets, even better.
Even better.
Right? And then there was a heel height situation, which it definitely takes me a while to get on board with.
Ugh.
All the way to the widower episode when she got me my first pair of like 105 millimeter Manolos. But it took that long for me to be able to like functionally walk in the things.
And guess what? I can't walk in now. All of those Manolos, all of them.
Listen,
I mean, bless all of us.
We're still trying.
We're doing it, but it is not easy now.
No, it's true. But then they escalated after that to the So Kates.
Yes.
I just did a whole episode, Jenny, and the So Kates. Oh my God, why? Why? I'm barely able to walk.
But they're sexy shoes.
They are, but just not to walk.
No.
Much less to try
at our
to act
advanced
in.
age.
Right, no, but also I'm trying to do this crazy stunt. You'll see it and just like that.
Well, I'm looking forward to it.
I got a stunt. What
Well, part of the problem
thinking?
is you can blame your co-star, Miss Sarah Jessica Parker,
I know it.
because she could run in those things.
She still can.
I know. She
It's
made it look
insane.
so easy.
Right, I know. So that was the thing. You were trying to live up to Sarah Jessica. So the other rules were that you always had to return borrowed clothes.
Yes.
Because we were so worried once we did finally get anyone to lend us clothes for personal PR or for the show. If you didn't return, no one was going to lend them again. And we really relied on that once we got it going.
Oh, yeah.
So like, I know other actors who are like, what do you mean? Just keep it. I'm like,
No, you don't do that.
No.
You don't.
I mean, there's other rules I can't think of right now, but like slowly the rules and you only wore Cosabella G-strings, right? Like so many rules, right? But don't we make a joke in one of these episodes about Miranda doesn't even want to wear a thong or something? I was like, oh my God.
Yes.
The Cosabellas had not taken over yet.
In the coffee shop scene.
Right.
She said, you can't be in a threesome. You won't even wear a thong.
Exactly.
And you know what's funny is hearing that again, I thought, were we even wearing thongs? But I guess we were.
Well,
I guess the beginning of it. It was the beginning. Darren gave us all thongs. This is going to come out wrong again. Oh boy.
I can't wait. Do it.
One Christmas, Darren's star,
thongs.
not Michael. He did not give Michael thong, but all the ladies, which were actually would have only been at that time, because I don't think it was this. It was season 2. Cindy and I were gifted, Cosabella thongs.
That was the thing, man. You had to.
They were expensive. I mean,
They were. I remember.
They might have been La Perla.
Oh, La Perla's very
expensive.
expensive.
Might have been very expensive.
Very nice.
Very nice.
That's what we would wear if we had like a fancy, lingerie.
Yeah.
We'd try to get a La Perla bra.
Yeah.
We could go down the list of like the approved brands and the
Yes.
not approved, and you know what I mean? Like it was a lot.
Lot of
it was
rules.
a lot, man.
Lot of
You
rules.
couldn't wear, didn't matter how cold you were. There's not going to be a functional coat.
It was eternal spring. It was eternal spring.
No matter what.
And you gals went through it. I mean,
there's a couple scenes I've seen so far where we're like,
and you could see your breath.
But you had to somehow make it work.
It's before we could afford to take it out with CGI. You're seeing people's breath, and you're standing there in a cute sundress.
I know, so
come on.
crazy, so crazy. The weird things about acting, it's the most incredible job in so many ways, and it's just weird, technical, practical things.
Sure.
Like you're up all night and you're having to somehow talk really fast and be funny.
Yes, and you're on camera.
Yeah.
This is not off camera. You are on camera.
And you're walking 5 blocks down the village streets trying to walk and talk while people are shouting at you from cars.
Right. Well, Radio Man is over here.
Oh, my God.
Steve, the paparazzi guy.
Oh, my God.
Is that his name, Steve?
Yes. Don't say his last name. We still deal with him, Jenny.
God,
we just put Radio Man in the show.
I saw. I love
And
Radio
no one
Man.
told me. Can I just tell you that no one told me that they had hired Radio Man to act in our show?
They should tell you that,
I
so
know.
you're not surprised.
So I come out, I'm acting in the scene, and I'm like, Radio Man's in the shot. I stop acting. I'm like, wait, Radio Man's standing right here. Can't you guys see him? The camera's across the street. And they were like, he's supposed to.
Do you want to explain who Radio Man is real quick?
Oh, yes, of course. Thank you, Jenny.
You're welcome.
The voice of the viewer. Radio Man is a very sweet man who originally, back in the day, rode his bike all over Manhattan into the different boroughs and looked at all of the production notices. In New York, when you get a permit to shoot any kind of film or television show, they have to put up a production notice so people don't park on the street, because we have to bring all of our equipment and trailers and whatnot, and theoretically even film on that street, right? So there would be like our show cars, they call them. We bring in cars to put there so that we don't bump into someone's car or whatever. So Radio Man would go all over town on his bike. I do not believe that he had a home, and he would make it his personal business to know where all the productions were going to be the next morning. And then he would come by and say hello. And when he came by to say hello, he would also tell you all the other productions filming that day and where they were.
And why did we call him Radio Man?
Because he also had a massive radio. Yes. So much, Jenny. He had like a boom box, we would call it. that traveled with him on the bike.
And that he
still
wore
does.
on a string around his
Oh
neck.
my God, he had on a string on. Yes, I don't think he does that anymore.
Well,
he's a little bit older.
He's
It's
older.
true.
Yeah.
It's true. But the radio is in the shot of And Just Like
Amazing.
That. But he has a grocery cart. We gave him a grocery cart because the bike, I think
I think
don't
he's,
see him on his bike
I think
anymore.
he's aged that way.
Yeah, but
yes.
we do still see him. I think possibly maybe he is in a better living situation now. He's not all the time there, which is actually good.
That's
'cause
great.
He's a little older.
Yeah.
And he is a fixture. He's a New York City fixture. Yes.
And that's where you have to love New York, that some things don't change. So much changes.
That's right.
It sounds like the beginning of a voiceover.
Oh, it does. I wonder which
know,
things change.
Everything in New
Jenny?
York changes, but some things always stay the same.
So true.
There we were in the meatpacking district where it used to smell like meat. I mean, how about
my
that? The opening of that
God.
episode where
Yes.
when the meatpacking district changed, and it really did.
Oh, it's nuts now.
Yeah.
Every time I go, I'm just like, what?
Brooklyn. I mean, now everyone lives in Brooklyn. No one
It's
lived in
true.
Brooklyn. No one believes me.
No.
That's one of those, the people are like, why did you have a storyline about how no one would visit Miranda in Brooklyn? Because no one lived in
did.
Brooklyn.
Can I tell you something funny? Second season of And Just Like That, we're all in Airbnb. Well, I'm in Airbnbs now, right? And not all of us, just me. And I rented one in Dumbo. And I was picturing Dumbo when we filmed there.
Right.
And I was like, what is this mall?
Right. It's Disneyland.
There's lights
Yeah.
that say Dumbo.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm still in shock.
I know.
I did not know. I was like, why
New
didn't no one
York.
tell me? Where are the warehouses?
Oh,
What happened?
They're back on our show.
Yes.
They're way
they
back.
are.
You can watch
Thank
our show
God they're on
and
film.
remember and see these things.
Right? Okay, wait. The end scene of Carrie and Big. Oh, and the wife is in the background.
And the wife is in the background.
I love that scene.
The specter
so
of the wife. I love that scene too.
That scene's beautiful. And
Really
you know what
pretty.
I really love about that scene? It's on a village street.
Yes.
But we haven't seen her stoop yet.
No, we have not.
No, which is super interesting.
It was
'cause
very
she's-
confusing where you all lived. And I mean, like,
Right?
I know we
Yes.
always talk about this, but this is one of those, talk about lack of continuity. But yeah, we're on the village street and it's the village the way I remember, the way the village was. And that street is still that way.
I mean, it still looks that way.
Except
There's
for
just
a
a lot
lot
more
of people.
And they all have cupcakes.
and buses.
Exactly,
and things
exactly.
like that. But that scene for me, I loved how in some ways open Big was.
That's
right?
true.
He's the one who says, we just went through this dinner and we talked like
Right.
strangers, what's going on? Right?
Good point.
He calls her on it.
You're so right.
She would have just said, well, good night and been
Right.
annoyed. But he says, what's going on? And then she comes clean very quickly.
Right.
And he comes clean pretty quickly.
Right.
And makes a joke, an offhand joke about, being friends with all his ex-wives. But and then they come back together, which I
Right.
know might be infuriating to people now.
I didn't feel
But-
that way. No, I didn't feel that way. I felt more like that's like saying, these are my faults,
Yeah.
which everyone's going to have, right? Like,
But
that
I
was-
like you now. You're
exactly.
the one.
He was more, I felt like he was more present and the veil was dropped a little bit.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's the right phrase to use for such
Yeah.
a dude, but like the wall was down a bit
Yeah.
and he seemed kind of more like making an effort and a little bit more vulnerable. And I love the ex-wife being behind him and then disappearing.
And again, what a beautiful shot. Like on network TV, you never could have done that moment where Nicole starts to walk away and then, we come up on it and she keeps walking. It's like we're on it for a couple seconds longer than we need to be. And
Yeah.
we just get to do that.
Yeah, it's really
we got
pretty.
to have that moment.
Yeah, it was so
and not
pretty.
cut because you have a commercial.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. I never think of
Beautiful.
that. That's so true.
Yeah.
I mean, it's funny because now, obviously, with streaming, the structure of television has gone our way.
Right.
But it's hard even for myself to remember what the structure of
then.
TV proper was
Yeah.
before us and before HBO.
It was not that. It was
No.
not being able to spend that
And then
time.
we had like freedom.
Yeah, and to get like specific shots. Like,
Right.
go
With the
tight on
crane.
her tree torns in this
Right.
moment. And,
Right.
we got to do it.
Yeah. And it's beautiful.
That's a beautiful, well, Nicole, she did a great job directing that
She
episode.
really did a beautiful job.
But
She
you all
always
did a great job,
beautiful
too. Everyone
Thank you.
was-
It was a good episode.
It really was
It's-
lovely.
What a great episode. For
I
your
was so
first
lucky. I was so
episode.
lucky to be able to do
So
it.
lucky.
Yeah.
I know all of us were so lucky. And it's so beautiful to look back on. And for me, obviously, like I said, I mean, I really just remember feeling like the first season was like a mess because I think I felt a mess.
Right.
and just like trying so hard. Like I was trying so hard to fit in. I was trying so hard to pull off these things and trying to figure out how Pat wanted to dress me and could I do it? And you know what I'm saying? Like so many actor anxieties, right? And like, how is the sex being presented and what were we doing? But it was fun. And it was fun because we were together and the relationship with all of us off camera was also growing because we were together going through this thing. And we knew that it was special. We didn't know what it was. But it was just a special experience.
And you say all these things. And what's amazing about you as a performer is it didn't come through that way.
Really?
You might have been feeling that way. But what it became for Charlotte was just this desire to figure things out.
That's true. And I mean, some of it too, I think, like you can't always really even separate yourself from the character you're playing,
right.
And the experience that you have on a set. Because as much as you are, of course, a separate individual, you're working so hard to figure that character out. And because Charlotte was really very minimal in the beginning of the show, right? And we had to find her all together. And Michael Patrick was like, I didn't know how I was going to write for that character. I was like, oh no, how am I going to write for that character? And obviously he's done a bang up job for 28 years.
Turns out he
worked
figured it out.
Really great. Really, but he on the face of it, he didn't
Absolutely,
know.
because I actually think, and that's where I think I helped a little bit, was my world, that Upper East. I'd grown up on the Upper East Side. I knew Charlotte's.
Right.
I wasn't necessarily
Thank God
exactly
you came,
like that.
Jenny.
I saved the day
Right,
is
you
really
did.
what I'm trying
You
to say.
did.
I absolutely
Because
did not.
in my mind, not knowing this part, not putting those pieces together, that's the first time that her storyline makes sense to me.
Oh, well, maybe that was also just a bit of luck of the draw, but I do think I was able to shine a light on that world a little bit so that it didn't just feel like a satire.
Exactly.
Because it could be. And we do satirize it in that episode to some extent.
But
fine. She's not there to be satirized.
Right.
She's living, breathing with a set of rules that she thought would work for her that ultimately didn't.
Right.
For all
and
the best
also
reasons.
Her rules were not that.
They weren't crazy.
No, they were like, she's so open in a way that I didn't even remember.
Yeah.
Like, I'm like, what am I going to do? Oh my God. Oh my God. It's entertaining. It's entertaining and interesting to watch. But I do think you're right in that all the characters were much more formed than I even realized. You know what I'm saying? Like you look back and you're like, oh yeah, we are all there. We are.
But none of us knew in some ways. Like they were there and sitting there at that coffee shop, you can see it.
Yeah.
They're all doing exactly you as these characters were all living those characters.
Right.
Animatedly living those characters.
Right.
We wouldn't know for a little bit.
Right.
Until we look back and go, there they were.
Right. It hadn't like gelled hard where we were like, yes, this is what we're doing. And this is how we're doing it. But it was coming.
Yeah.
It's coming.
God.
Super interesting. Thank you for joining us, Jenny
I had
Biggs.
so much fun.
You're a joy.
I could talk forever about that magic time.
I'm glad we're going to have you back. You got so many episodes coming. Oh my God. How are we going to choose which ones to have you for?
I don't know.
What a joy though. Because you have, of course, incredible insights into what it was like to create the show.
Well, it was I hope everyone gets the chance in their lives to be part of something from the beginning, to see something grow.
It's so hard.
So hard.
It's so rare.
But so worth it.
It is so worth it. But I mean, sometimes, you might, and I'm sure you might have had this experience, you try stuff out in our business, right? Because of course, we're just so, lucky to be able to work in our business. Obviously, it's a hard business. And people can seem awesome and have great ideas. And you're like, this could be good. And then, no, it just doesn't work.
Not so much.
You don't know why. Yeah. I've had that since then. Never anything that I felt the way that I felt about us. You know what I'm saying? And it's hard. You also feel really bad, like, that like nothing's really going to live up to it. I'm sorry for everybody I'm involved with, but or have ever been involved with professionally. But you're hoping you don't know. It could be fun in a different way or whatever.
It will always be. It'll be different, but it will never live up to what that was.
No.
And I think we all, in retrospect, really know that now.
Yeah.
I mean, I think living it, we even knew it.
I think we might have.
That we did.
Yeah.
But now you really know it.
Now we really, really
and
know it.
And how lucky were we?
So lucky. And still so lucky.
And still, I was going to say, you get to still
I know.
Charlotte is in you.
I know.
Still.
I know. She's still kicking around there. It's awesome. It's
having
awesome.
threesomes.
Only in her mind at this point. But that would be fun. I don't know. You never know what Michael's going to come up with.
You do not know. So get ready.
I think the kids are more likely to be having a threesome.
I think so.
I think then I'll have to deal with that. But that's okay. I mean, yeah, it is a dream. It's a dream in so many ways. And it's a dream to get to talk to our fans
Yeah.
on the podcast.
What a joy to get to hear from people and know that the show still lives on.
I know, right?
So thank you all for still watching.
Yeah, thank you guys.
And watching again and watching for the first time.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
We love all of you guys.
And we're sorry about the flip phones.
But it's funny.
But it's funny
to look at. And even I think in the pilot, there's an even bigger one. Like,
Oh, yeah.
it's hysterical.
Oh, they start
There's going
real
to be an
big.
evolution of phones. That could be like a subplot of the whole series, the evolution of phones.
Yeah.